Welcome to the Home Tech Plus channel. Today we're going to be talking about replacing a ceiling fan pull chain light switch. Oftentimes these break and the chain will break inside of the switch, or the switch will become faulty and it won't turn the light on and off. Remember to subscribe and support my channel. Submit any questions, I'll do the best to answer. So this is a typical fan with 3 individual lights on the light kit. Before you get started, remember to locate and turn off the circuit breaker for the ceiling fan. That's really important. Remember, dealing with electricity, you do so at your own risk. To remove the bonnet for the lights, you're going to take the small screw out. There's going to be either 2 or 3 of those, and then let that drop down. And before we proceed with disconnecting this splice, we want to check for voltage, and I like to use a voltage tester, and this is a Klein voltage tester, and this is a really inexpensive tool and something handy to use if you're going to do any electrical work. This is just an example of how this works, but you want to perform this test before you take the splice apart. So when you hold the tester up there, you should get a red light and a tone. If there's no voltage present, you'll just get a green light and no tone. Always test the black or line voltage wire and the white neutral wire, just in case somebody reversed the connections. Here we have the bonnet completely removed from the assembly, and we're going to remove the old switch. So you need to loosen the nut or retaining nut on this old switch and take that off the bottom. And then we turn that over, take the switch out, and unsplice any remaining connections to it. Here's the old switch, and you can see that the pull chain had busted inside the switch. That's not repairable, so this is why we have to replace it with a new one. And in this case, we bought an on-off switch because this is just controlling the light. This is not a fan control switch. This is just for the light on the fan. I have another video that I'll show you the replacement of the fan switch. So install the switch into the hole on the bonnet and secure it with the retaining nut on the bottom. And if you have a different finish than the one that comes with the switch, use the old one. Before reattaching the assembly to the fan, make the connections for the switch by taking each black wire from the individual light sockets, in this case there's 3, and 1 wire or one side of the switch, and twist those together. Use an orange wire nut to complete the splice. And here you can see we have 3 wires, 1 black wire from each individual socket, and 1 wire from one side of the switch spliced together for a total of 4. And that connection is made up, and then we're going to splice all the white neutral wires together, the 3 from the socket and the 1 coming from the fan. So all 4 of those are twisted together, and then we apply the other side of the switch, the single wire from the other side of the switch, to the line voltage coming from the fan. So that's just the 2 connections. That supplies voltage to the switch, and then the other splice is the other side of the switch that supplies voltage to each individual socket. And all the white neutral wires are twisted together. So you can see in this view what the completion of the splice looks like. You'll have 3 splices. Reattach the assembly, making sure that you don't pinch any of the wires in between the bonnet and the rest of the ceiling fan assembly. Attach the old chain to the chain on the new switch using the coupler. If you need to buy a new chain to extend the length of the switch, They sell those individually. Finally, turn the circuit breaker back on and test the operation of your completed project. Watch for my next video on replacing the fan control switch. Thanks for watching. I hope you found it informative.